today's boss list, we're taking down the Gold Armored Rhino. His attacks are electrified, he likes to run around a lot, and he has a large horn that we're going to focus on. And let's not forget about his gold hide. It's really tough and can take a lot of damage, but we'll go over that in a second. So for this fight, we'll be bringing in Guanzi, a Pluck of Mini, Immobilize, the Plantain Fan, and Wandering White. Once you enter the fight, go ahead and hit him with Immobilize. Get up close and use Wandering White to try to break his horn right away. When his horn breaks, he'll be knocked out of his armored form, and then you can do some extra damage. This is a good time to cast your Plantain Fan tornadoes, then follow that up with the Pluck of Mini. You can also use Guanzi to start getting in some burn damage. Try to use your heavy attacks to keep him down. The whole purpose is to keep him stunned to get as much damage as you can before he decides to transform back into his gold form. His horn is a conductor of lightning, and when he calls down the lightning from the skies, it'll fix his horn and then he'll start charging around. Now fortunately for us, this boss is not like Yellowbrow. Even though his hide is gold, you can still do some damage to him. It just won't be a lot. You can continuously chip away at his body, but not his horn. If you do hit his horn, it may do some damage, but it will stagger you when you initiate the hit. So do your best to stay towards his back legs and his side. If you find yourself behind him, watch out for when he lifts up his legs and kicks. If you do find yourself in front of him, you can still attack his horn. Just make sure you use heavy attacks and preferably charged up heavy attacks. Aside from the lightning strikes, his attacks are typical Rhino attacks. He'll swipe at you with his horn, he'll kick at you with his legs, and of course, he'll try to charge at you. If you see him trotting around, slow him down by casting Immobilize and close the distance. Get some hits in, but stay away from his back legs. And remember, that horn is hard. If you hit it with a light attack, you'll do a small amount of damage, but you'll find yourself stunned. If this boss jumps backwards, prepare yourself because he's about to charge forward with his horn. And when you dodge, try to dodge towards him. The majority of his attacks do damage in front of him. So by dodging towards him, you'll end up either next to him or behind him. And of course he has those back legs, so always be on the lookout for that. Before he pokes at you with his horn, he'll prepare it. He'll do a slight step back and then he'll come back forward. Each of his horn attacks have a slight preparation phase before he initializes each attack. Breaking his horn is the best thing to do in this fight because it'll allow you to do much more damage. And you can break his horn by using charged up heavy attacks or Wandering White like we did in the beginning of this fight. But sometimes you may not get lucky enough to break that horn. So try to factor in your different spells like Immobilize, a Pluck of Mini. Whenever they charge back up, use those spells so you can get some more damage in. Because the normal damage that you do when his horn's not broken is almost half. There is one other attack, well, two other attacks that you need to look out for. The first is when he'll raise up into the air, point his horn to the sky, and call down lightning in a large area surrounding him. He'll then smash back into the ground for a large area attack. The second attack that you need to look out for is a follow-up attack to that large lightning attack. He'll start to constantly charge at you with his horn shooting out electricity from it. Now I advise you use Cloud Step and let your clone take the damage while he runs around, and he'll eventually tire out. When he does, just start up your attack again and start doing damage. Remember that you have your Plantain Fan, and this is a great utility to use because it'll knock him down and you can get your free hits. If you have Guanzi or another transformation spell ready, go ahead and use that as well and start building up that burn damage. This boss has a lot of openings and you should be able to attack him pretty much after every single one of his attacks, as long as you're dodging to his side. If he starts to do a stomp attack, that's when you want to back up and wait for him to start another type of attack. Zubaji will be there to help you with this fight, but he doesn't do a lot of damage, so you really can't depend on him to help you with this fight. It does look cool with him running around though. Another thing to note is that this boss does shock damage. So if you want to put any points into shock resistance, that's a good idea. To help you with dodging his attacks, know that each of his attacks usually have two parts. So he may use his horn and then kick with his back legs, he may use his horn and then stomp, or he may stomp and then use his horn. Knowing these attack variations can really help you when you're trying to decide on when to go in and get some damage. This can be a very long boss fight if you don't break his horn. So be prepared if you decide just to attack his back legs or attack his body, because this boss is a tank and it's going to take a lot to take him down. But let me know down in the comments, how many times were you able to break his horn during this fight? For me, it was once. I hope you enjoyed this one and learned something new. I'll catch you in the next one.